The Georgian site was originally home to the St. Louis City Hospital, started in 1845. While the primary hospital building was converted into condos in the early 2000s, additional auxiliary buildings were left in disrepair. The Commissioner Building was used as offices for hospital administrators. Its remaining historic entry and decorative elements were restored, and the apartment layout integrated into the original office layout and massing. The clinic building, part of the main hospital, had little historic fabric to restore. The garage building, previously used as a shop for hospital ambulances, retained its open industrial layout and features a large monitor above. The entire original wood roof decking needed to be rebuilt upon the existing steel trusses, which allow for such a wide open space. Once the hospital cafeteria, the service building retained its historic terrazzo floor, concrete beams, and glazed tile block, all of which were restored. A new opening to access the lower floor was installed beneath the restored monitor, allowing natural light into the basement level.
There's 4 buildings that now make up 74 units, so we have 58 different floor plans out of 74 units. So we had to do a lot of decisions on the fly as it related to floor plans and things like that. And working with the state of Missouri through the historic tax credit process was really important to figure out what we could and couldn't do and still get a project that was going to be financially feasible and maintain the historic integrity of the building at the same time.
This successful rehabilitation of the remaining vacant structures on the historic St. Louis City Hospital campus is another step forward in the growing revitalization efforts of the South City area.
At Takeoff Development, we set out on a mission in 2015 to develop irreplaceable buildings in irreplaceable locations. We were fortunate that, about 15 years prior to us buying this building, there were some real trailblazers in this neighborhood that started putting other civic assets here, including things like a grocery store and other investments in parks and things like that that really helped make a community. Without those things, we wouldn't have been able to have successful lease up and programming for this building. So many of the units still have some of the original terrazzo floors in there, obviously exposed bricks, and then just the giant windows. I mean, we have nearly floor to ceiling windows. And the only reason they're not floor to ceiling is because we have the benefit of 14 and 16 foot ceilings throughout the entire building that are just incredible features for urban apartments. Oh, certainly. So Chris Goodson to start. Chris is who we bought the building from, and Chris has really been a pioneer in the Lafayette Square neighborhood. He also owns the Fields Food grocery store and started a lot of the redevelopment in the neighborhood going back more than 15 years ago when nobody wanted to be down here. So it started with Chris, and Chris gave us a up close and personal tour of the building before we bought it. And he had owned it for a while and knew kind of all the ins and outs, and that really helped us. Secondly, the folks at Trivers, who is our architect, Joel Fuse, starting with Joel, who's one of the principals. We had a really collaborative relationship at Trivers as we worked through this process. And as I've said before, they have become the de facto choice to go to on complicated historic renovations in the St. Louis area. So we were fortunate to use them. As well, the team from Great Southern Bank, starting with Brian Davies, who had an intimate knowledge of the building. He had been involved in some of the other initial redevelopments in Lafayette Square and related to this building, and they really believed in our vision from the beginning. And it took somebody looking at this as a partner, not as a lender, to really see what this could become. And so we were really fortunate with that. And then just my whole team at Takeoff Development. We've become experts at redeveloping complicated historic buildings, and sometimes we joke, we're like, we wouldn't have chose that path, but other times it's like, what a great path we chose. So.